Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I am Ghosty, and after navigating multiple market cycles, I have learned that logic and clear signals beat hype and narratives every time. On this channel, we skip the noise and go straight into the charts, data, and key factors that I use to build my thesis. No fluff, no filler, just alpha. Today, I'm gonna follow up on stocks I have been watching like IREN, LUNR, SMR, and MRAM, and actually much more. So let's dive in. So, have you guys, as you guys recall from past videos, I have been talking about on MRAM about the oversold RSI and the oversold stochastic, and every time we got that signal, we were close to a local bottom. So, and afterward, we have a big spike, just as a recap. And today, actually, I started slowly accumulating some. If you guys saw my previous videos, I had marked this buying zone to start accumulating longs. And of course, I do live in my Discord and show my exact entries live with my community members. So I had drawn this box. So basically, I go into a lower time frames, and once price enters my box, I start to see reactions. So I started accumulating some. We could still have more downside, and that's why I have this wide range, because based on my framework and strategy, I start to dollar cost average and then eventually wait for my thesis to play out in this case. So just want to share my thoughts on this one. We already went to the buying zone that I have been talking about since a long time. That's why I wasn't buying here, because I knew there was more probability for more downside. So people that bought here, right? You guys are losing around 30%. So that's how I protect the downside. So let's quickly move and go over to SMR, which we had a similar strategy, right? We were waiting. I was saying in past videos, and I was really vocal about this, that this support was likely not gonna hold, right? So everybody that bought in this support, basically you're down 20%. So see, I was talking about this buying zone, just to do a quick recap, because this is a big demand zone. This is a big demand area, and if this doesn't hold, of course we go lower to this one. So that's why I have my buying zone a little bit bigger here, right? I began accumulating, slowly accumulating SMR, right? But I'm not full position, because if it still goes lower, I have more money to dollar cost average and then wait for the eventual bounce. So it's the same similar mentality, right? We look to protect our downside, and we look to protect and manage our capital by dollar cost averaging and not only just going in one go, right? Because if you enter right now in one position and it starts to go down, you cannot maneuver your position. So that's something I implement myself and teach. So we take a look now at LUNR. So just before, if you guys take a look at SpaceX, so SpaceX had its recent IPO, and I was warning you guys that normally normal IPOs price eventually goes below the IPO opening price. So because SpaceX have had this beating, all of the space names have had a big massive retrace. So the same thing apply here, right? I was telling you guys this support's likely not gonna hold, so let's be more defensive and wait for key zones. So today the same thing. I just started a small position here. I'm actually in profits because we're bouncing today a little bit, but I really expect more downside. I really expect a lot of these names to even go lower, and then I'll just add to my positions. So we don't want to buy, we don't want to buy like at this high levels, you know, because the percentage drawdown would be massive in terms of percentage. So okay, now that we're over with SMR, LUNR, and MRAM, let's go and review ONDS. So anybody that watched my previous videos, I have been talking about ONDS. Well, on X, I have been talking about ONDS over here and why I was bearish. I actually took and was really vocal about a massive short here, and I covered all the way down, and then I started reshorting higher. But if you guys saw my video, I was talking about this key important trend line, and when price was here, I had this three levels already drawn, because those were the levels that the chart's telling me price could go. So we already tested the first level. Today we tested the second level, and see how price is reacting exactly from the level I had marked before for you guys. So we're having a reaction. So if price bounces from here, this level is now getting weaker because it's being tagged right now. So next time we could roll over, and maybe this doesn't hold if the market decides to dump. So this level for me is still in play. So just something to watch out for. Now now if we take a look at IREN, so you guys know this. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know this has been one of my biggest short positions besides the ONDS I had. So, I mean, IREN, like I have been talking about, you guys can watch my previous videos if you want to see my whole IREN thesis. But just looking at the bigger time frame, guys, like this candle over here is a massive topping tail. It's a bearish candle. And if we take a look at the monthly chart, right, we have 14 days left for this candle to close. So let's take the indicators away. So we have 14 days for the candle to close. So see the opening candle price on this candle here in March and on April. Basically, if this current candle were to close below the closing price on this candle, that will be really bad on a high time frame for IREN. So that's why I have been short and warning people not to buy yet, because this level is my first target to start covering my shorts, right? Unless I see a reversal. Just remember, the short interest on IREN is just getting higher right now. So before a squeeze higher, I think there's a much more probability we still go down. So also, let's take a look at something I'm really watching right now. So how many red candles we have right now on the 3-day? Let's take a look at the 3-day. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 red volume bars, right? And if we go back to a past, when I remember I was comparing with you guys, so back over here, let's zoom a little bit. So back over here in this big massive drop, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles. Then we had 1 green candle in a row, and then we had 4 red candles again. So something similar could happen right now, right? We could have a slight positive green candle reaction, right? But then eventually we get the final flush or potential final flush to a downside. That's something I don't know right now, but we will analyze together in future videos. So it's something that I'm really expecting could happen. So more potential downside in the next coming 1, 2, 3 weeks. So Now let's go to LPTH. Yeah, just a quick recap. We had a massive resistance here. I had drawn the key levels on the chart. As you guys can see how we're reacting to the T on this level we had marked on the chart. So yeah, I mean, I expect a short-term bounce, but this is a high time frame bearish pattern after this massive rally. So could this be possible? Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, I would say likely eventually we'll roll over and target this $6.57 support. So if we price retest, we bounce and we retest this area, I expect a rejection and then potentially rolling over. So just something to keep an eye on. I actually did a video talking about the hype. I recorded this like 4 or 5 days ago. You guys can find the video on YouTube. But when price was over here, basically I was saying, guys, this looks a bearish pattern, and I did a whole detail, and see we had a big flush this recent 3 days. So it's starting to play out on hyperliquid. So it's something to be cautious of, because a lot of people are bullish on hype. And see, we actually broke the 50 today. So we broke after basically, so we tested here, we tested here, we tested here, we tested here, tested here, and finally we broke to a downside. So this is the warning signal I recalled, especially here when we broke down to a downside. See what happened. We had this massive continuation to the downside. So I expect something similar to happen here. The RSI eventually will go down to oversold conditions, and that would coincide with my thesis on hyperliquid, on why we're going lower, besides other factors that I explained in more detail in the other videos. So I'm gonna wrap up this for today. If you really like this content, follow me on X, share and like my content, and subscribe.